ChatGPT has had the fastest user adaptation of any technology in history. It took ChatGPT only 5 days to reach 1 million users, and now just 2 months after it launched, it has 100 million users. In comparison, it took Instagram 2.5 years to reach 100 million users, and it took Facebook 4.5 years to reach the same number. I'm going to use AI to create a custom children's book for my kids. I'm going to use ChatGPT to write the text. Then I'm going to use Midjourney, which is an art generating AI, to create all the illustrations to go along with that text. Then I'm going to take everything and send it to a printer, and hopefully by the end of this video I'm going to have a physical book that I'm going to put to the ultimate test by reading it for my daughter. Ever since my daughter Naia was just a few months old, she's loved children's books, and I love reading them for her. As soon as she could walk, she would walk over to the bookshelf and pick out her favorite books and come and sit with me so that I could read them for her. Children's books have helped us bring entertainment on trips, and they're also a fixed part of our nightly bedtime routine. There's a lot of great children's books, and I think what really sets the good ones apart is that they teach kids important lessons. We recently had a new baby, Naia's little brother Koji, and since they're so close in age, I really want them to be good friends growing up, and I want them to always stick together and help each other out. I was very lucky growing up with a brother that was only 1.5 years older than me, and we were super close. My sister was 3 years younger than me, so even though we didn't play as much when we were kids, we have become very close with the years, and our relationship is something that means a lot to me. I hope that Naia and Koji will have a strong relationship growing up, and I want to create a custom children's book that will teach them a lesson about how siblings are better sticking together. In an attempt to not make the story too literal, I want to make the story about 2 dolphins called Naia and Koji. In ChatGPT, I will put in the prompt, write a 300-word children's story about 2 dolphin siblings called Naia and Koji. Naia is the older sister and Koji is the younger brother. They ran into trouble, but because they stick together, they make it through. The moral of the story should be that siblings are strong when they stick together and look out for each other. Make it metaphorical and beautiful. I guess that last sentence is a bit subjective, but let's see what it comes up with. Wow, this is pretty impressive. I kind of thought I had to go back and forth a little bit with ChatGPT, but actually I think this first attempt is pretty much perfect. The story is about the 2 siblings, Naia and Koji. They come upon a patch of dark, stormy waters, and Koji wants to go through, but while they're swimming through, he's having problems and is lagging behind. Naia sees this, and she comes over, wraps her fin around him, and pulls him through and help him until they get to a more calm patch of water. I'm going to take the story from ChatGPT and try to illustrate it using Midjourney. But since I've actually never used Midjourney before, I have to go and sign up and try to learn the system. It's kind of funny that it's asking me to verify that I'm human when all I'm doing is coming here to communicate with robots. Now that I've been working in Midjourney for a while, I'm realizing that the biggest challenge is going to be to try to get a consistent style on the illustrations throughout the book. Every time I put in a prompt to get an illustration made, I get a completely different style. And for this book to work, I need the characters to look the same. Now that I've been working on this for hours, I think I've finally gotten to a point where I'm pretty happy with the illustrations. The characters don't look exactly the same, but because they have kind of an artistic look, I think the book will get away with them looking a little bit different throughout. So this is what the dolphins, Naia and Koji, look like. They're swimming around in the coral reefs, and when they come up on a dark patch of water, this is what it looks like when they're swimming through the storm. Once in the storm, Naia wraps her fin around Koji and helps him through, and in the end, they get to a sunny patch of the ocean and they play around there. I'm not very good with graphic design or typography, so I'm going to use Canva, which makes it very easy to put a book together. So I'm just going to take the text and put it together with illustrations and see if I can create a PDF of this book. Okay, so the design of the PDF is all finished. So I'm just going to add a foreword to the book so that will be on the first page, and then the illustrations with the text will be on page 2 and 3. To Naia and Koji, I love you more than you will ever understand. Please always take care of each other and watch out for each other. We will always be strongest together. Love from Papa. Jesus, didn't think I was going to be that emotional writing this, but that's how it is when I'm dealing with these two. So the book is ready, so I'm just going to send it off to the printer. Okay, now that the book is sent off to the printer, I think it's time to discuss a few things that I'm sure that a lot of you have been thinking about. If you're a freelance writer or writer of any kind, I would understand why you'd be worried about a system like ChatGPT. The same clearly goes for visual artists, with systems like Midjourney that can generate really beautiful art. I think Midjourney and other visual AIs have a long way to go before they can replace humans, but considering that this is just a very early version of it, I think there's really good reason to be concerned for a lot of people's jobs. And to be frank, OpenAI's ChatGPT is already better than a lot of writers. Of course, if you're the best in your field, there will always be work for you. But for the people that might not be the best but delivering decent work, I think it will be very hard to compete with something like ChatGPT in the future. Some people argue that AI-generated content is straight up plagiarism. A system like Midjourney has analyzed millions, if not billions, of artworks from humans and is using that to create art on its own. On the other side, I would argue that all humans are also taking inspirations and learning from other artists. So it's not necessarily plagiarism if it is just taking inspiration from something. I personally don't think it would be morally right for me to publish and sell this children's book. If I were to do so, this book would be competing against other children's books created by real writers and real artists. However, since I'm only creating this one copy for my children, I would never have been able to afford hiring an artist and illustrator in the first place. So without the AI, I would never be able to do this project at all. For me personally, I think a very cool thing about these AI systems is that a layman like me who can't write or can't illustrate, I am able to create this book that is personal and is customized for my kids. So in that way, I'm excited to see what else will be available in the future. I think it's pretty clear now seeing what it can do with writing, what it soon will be able to do with art, and possibly soon with music, video, with everything. I think it's pretty clear that some regulations need to be in place. What those regulations will be and how they will work is way above my pay grade, so I have no clue. But all I know is that a lot of industries will be disrupted, a lot of jobs will be affected, and it seems like that change will happen way faster than we have expected. Since the book is now sent off to the printer, they said it will take about 3 weeks in total. So all I can do now is wait, and whenever I'm back, the book will hopefully be here, and I hope the print will be good. It's been 3 weeks and the book is finally here. My biggest concern with this book is the artwork from Midjourney is not really high resolution, so I really hope the file was good enough, and I hope that the printer that I chose to use have good quality print too. Let's dig into this. That's a lot of plastic. Here it is after all this time, and I am stoked how it turned out. The print is beautiful. It really looks like a professional children's book. I'm super excited to try to read this to Naia later tonight. Skal vi lese en ny bok? Det er 2 delfiner. Vet du hva de heter? Koji og Naia. Liker du boken? I think the book passed the ultimate test. I think this was a super fun project, and I'm very happy that I got to create this project for my kids. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you next time.